we're just trying. It's been a while since we've done this. Right now, class.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go with it. Hey, Master. Hey, Perry. The host of the show is not here yet.
I just got a text from the host who
It
says
said,
all of
"Is
his
it?"
lights are out.
Well, that's pitiful. That's
I asked
that's
him if he had a candle.
hey, guys. But anyway, people, Knowledge is Power podcast present all new roundtable talk show. It's more of a Q&A. The discussions on local and national news issues and events joined in discussion by dropping us a comment in the box. Yeah, you can just drop us in the and we'll talk about it. And with your host, our host Chris Jones is not here. We just texted him his lights out at his home. So with the light and thunder and the cool weather right now, yeah, I understand that. But I was happened to we watched the news today all day today, and did you guys see what happened in Tennessee with the GOP uh, ousted the the three Democrats from the uh, House of Representatives. But by this evening, um, they voted to keep the white woman as a representative and voted out the two black uh, representatives out of the House of Representatives in Tennessee. Now, I'm going to address it because I want it to be known that that's why it's so important. That's why it's so important that we vote locally because you see where it's going. And this is something that you got to understand also is that not only did that happen, they compared the reason why they voted those two black Democrats out is because they wanted to. They was in a peaceful protest against guns rights. And instead of addressing the gun rights, they addressed the two Democrats, black Democrats, and decided to vote them out of the House of Representatives because that wasn't part of it. But I want you to think while we got some visitors online right now, and I want you to think about this gun rights. Do you know why the GOP don't give a damn about the gun rights? They don't care. They want to keep it. I want you to think about this very careful. Just imagine what is the most harmful death right now to minorities, blacks, right now are guns. We're killing each other with guns. We got domestic problems with guns. We're killing each other with guns. Uh, we're killing children, babies with guns. Now, I have a problem with that. I want to address it. I want you guys to comment if you can, comment if you can. I have a problem with that because these, I want you to think about it. Sit back and just think what I'm saying here. You drop your kids off to school and you go to your job, your home or destination that you go, and you get a call that someone has broken into the school and there is a mass killing at the school. Can you think about it? How would you feel? How would you imagine what would you go through this to get how are you feeling? How are you feeling that you're driving to the school to see about your child, making sure that's not your child or a loved one or a friend child or a neighbor? Um, think about that. That is something that you can't even fathom. And we're talking gun rights. People that has guns, that has the access to get guns, that should not have guns, and we're having to deal with this. Nowhere are you safe anymore because of guns. No one is safe anymore because of guns. And now there's more mass killing this year already than we had all last year. Come on, feed me. Talk to the people. Send me comments. Put your comments in the box. Let's talk about it. So that's why I'm telling you guys right now. Now, these Democrats, black Democrats, that's in Tennessee, that was voted out of the House of Representatives because they was in a peaceful protest behind guns. And the GOP, the conservative GOP of, of Tennessee, voted them out because they protest the rights about the rights of guns instead of addressing the gun rights. So tell me, have we lost our rights? Are we can't speak?
I was just about to say that. I mean,
We can't
and I
talk?
do
Right? Yeah,
apologize. I apologize for being in the dark, y'all,
that's okay.
and
And
whatnot. But it is storming, like my big brother said, and I do appreciate y'all being on the line. But like you mentioned, I mean, like these are some drastic things that not just residents of Tennessee, but of Texas as well, and other states and counties and cities. We have to be cognizant of, especially when it comes to our liberties and our rights and the powers that are invested in us as citizens, not not the elected. The elected and or the appointed does not have power nor jurisdiction unless we give it to them. And the more liberties we release, the and allow them to dictate, because it's no longer governing us. But once they began to dictate to us, then and we are absent from the table, these are the things that happen. These are the exact things that most politicians and people that lobby for different legislation, and or for somebody to turn the blind eye to. These are the things that they take advantage of you and other individuals like us, especially individuals that are in neglected areas, or areas that they feel is the hood or the slums or different things like that. Uh, we, we don't really have a large representation at the table. So when you're not at the table, you can't eat, you can't dictate what you would like to see on the menu even. So you only thing it is that once legislation is passed, so to speak, Tony, like, you have to eat what is served, period,
right, right,
because you were not at the table to dictate to the chef what allergies you have, what
right,
what your palate is, what
right,
pleases your palate, different
right,
things like
right,
that. And those politicians and again, people that lobby against and or for certain things that you know that go amiss, that's the reason it happens. And
right.
this is
So
the same reason that it happened in Tennessee, because again, yeah, they do have a large voter population, but again, the voter population an educated electorate, and an educated electorate enough to be at the table.
you see, they want the power. They
Man,
want
look,
power. They
I've been
want the power,
I've been
and they
we've
have
been
driven
trying to
them. They
tell
have
that to
they
people
have
for the
they
longest,
have
that your power is in your vote.
right, and they
And
have.
if it wasn't, they wouldn't be trying to deny you or neglect you from
That's
it.
right. That's correct. Now, here's what I want to say. They know they don't have it. Now that's why they're trying to stop us from voting. They're trying to stop the young Americans from voting.
Not only that,
They're trying to
they're splitting the vote. And during this local elect during especially this local election, I'm hearing people say split the vote, split the vote, split the vote, split the vote. But you don't even have 60% of the voter population coming out to split a vote. You
right,
don't even have 50%. How about 40%? How
right,
about 20%? You don't even have 20% of the registered voter population here showing up to the polls during city elections. So
That's
how is
right.
it that we're possibly splitting the vote?
That's
But
right.
when you remove people from legislative places, when you divide lines that are voting populations, when you divide and restrict people that are ex felon or all of a sudden they're no longer eligible to vote on a roll, man, yeah, it's too much power we have released as citizens of this country, this state, and this county. And the
And
liberties that we've released so far has gotten us in the position to where, like you said, guns are being, man, as
yes,
a
yes,
volunteer in public schools, my heart goes out to not only our educators and the families that recently have been targeted by some of the cruelest people I could ever imagine, especially targeting children
right.
or
That's just
institutions of youth. That it just doesn't make sense to me, y'all, and I can't understand for the life of me how is it that we are so pro-life till we are so dumbfounded when it comes to protecting the life that's existing. You know what
correct.
I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, one of my things that I want to say is an address. And of course, I'm going to let everybody know this is the new Roundtable talk show that's on every first Thursday of each month. And Chris Jones actually is the host, and I'm just in the background. But tonight, I want to just come on because I was just disturbed because the love of children that I have and why are we allowing the things that's happening right now because they're trying to take our democracy from us. They're trying to keep us from they want control and they want to keep us behind. They want to take us back. They ban the books. They don't, it's banning books. You're not saying nothing over there, young lady Trish, but to ban the books and they want to ban everything that educate us about what is going on, but they want to take us back. And I've got a problem with that. I have a problem with guns, the gun rights. I mean, someone mentally, how could you allow a person to purchase a gun that has mental issues? It's just more than what because the GOP does not care. All they
I feel
want
like
is the
It's not
power.
that. It's
I
not
feel
that.
like
It's
I
not
feel like
that.
I don't
Go ahead,
I
Jen.
But
don't
but,
know.
but, but hold
Everybody
on, wait
should
a minute,
have
wait
a
a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Hold on. I want to bring this back to all the way back to local too. This is why we have to exercise our rights and vote locally because this shit could, I mean, this could happen to us. And every local area, it could happen. That's where it starts right here. And it's going to fall right on back here if we allow this to keep happening. This is why we're going to have to come together. We're going to have to put things, mold things together and put on a march, not just a march, but we've got to, what the words I want to say is that,
We got to be strategic and
right,
demanding.
right.
We have to be unmovable and steadfast
We
in
got to
our
have, we got,
request.
we got to have, we got to be part of the movement.
Period.
If we don't, they're gonna take us back.
Look at it, y'all. We already back. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yes, you're
I
right.
mean,
You're right.
some of the people. Okay. My mom was born in '55, the year of the the death of Emmett Till. Ain't some of the same stuff going on then happening right now?
Right. I was
I mean,
born.
how many people have to be lynched for y'all to recognize that we are already back? We already back.
Here's one of the things why we allowing this to happen. Some of them allowing this to happen because we don't know. Which you ask people right now today don't even know about Emmett Till. I was born in 1955, the year Emmett Till was murdered. My parents allowed me to read. They gave me an education. They helped me with my education. And this is what we're failing right now: educating our people, educate even my generation, and the generation behind me, and the generation behind them. We're not educating our people. This is why the things are happening, and we're allowing them to happen. We've got to be part of the movement. We've got to get it together. I mean, we can talk about this all day long, all night long. But if we do it and get involved, and when I say involved, I like what you're doing every Thursday night, Chris. I see you guys. I like but I like to see every Thursday morning you at the courthouse, right on the steps. And what are you protesting? The rights
So,
of a human being.
so every Thursday, as a member of the NAACP, we have what we call Truthful Thursdays, and in collaboration with other civil rights groups and organizations nationwide, um, we have tried to shine light on certain injustices that have happened to individuals within our communities, as well as injustices that have happened at the hand of what we would consider somebody that is a peace officer. There are several discrepancies and disgruntled individual citizens that are in our city, and they're needing a platform to speak out about some of these injustices. So I'm elated that the NAACP is not just available to people of color, but for people that have suffered an injustice.
Mm-hmm.
And being that kind of member, and I'm glad my lights is back on, but being that kind of member makes me, um, I don't know, it makes me stand bold on what it is that, I stand for. Christopher Shaw, um, Lamel Whittington, um, uh, Trayvon Hall, um, several individuals that like my notebook is extremely. I wouldn't say full because I haven't written on the backside of every page, but our NAACP office is busy with complaints from, again, people that are suffering injustices at the hand of people that are either elected, appointed, and or just, they have some type of power, they are their employer, maybe. It's and so that's what we do every Thursday, especially, like I said, to shine light on some of the injustices. And when I say injustice, I'm talking about all the way to the gavel, y'all. We're not just talking about, the conditions in Jefferson County facilities, whether it be physical, emotional, and or spiritual. Although we know that there are some mechanisms in place, thanks to our sheriff, that addresses some of the mental health issues that our county faces. Um, so I'm ecstatic about that. But there are some other things, just like the reason that, the Rangers were called by our sheriff to come and address the Christopher Shaw situation, who is the individual that we still have yet alive. Um, the issue that happened with him. So, we want clarity, and not just, clarity for the sake of the public, but so that we, as the leaders of the community or individuals within the community, will know how to address certain things when they come about us in the future.
Uh-huh.
Which, like, just like you said, Tony, like, we see what y'all doing when you restrict how we're able to educate, and or what we're able to educate individuals on. Like, come on, y'all.
Mm-hmm. You're right
Yeah,
there. Get ready. Get
yeah.
ready. Hey, we
So
gotta get
that's what we
ready.
do on Thursdays. We try
Right.
to hold account, and we're not out there uh loud rallying no justice, no peace, which is
Right.
conducive to
Right.
what we need. But we're also sending a message to, our public, to our community. uh we stand out every Thursday, either in silence, and we, just let people know when they ask us what we're standing there for, or we play a song, one particular song.
Okay, Chris Jones is the host of the first Thursday night of each uh, month. He is the host of Roundtable Talk, presented by Knowledge is Power podcast. Chris usually hosts a show with Trisha, and they'll talk about national and local issues that's going on and
And
events that's
state.
going on in our area,
Yeah.
Southeast Texas, not just Beaumont, but we want to conclude Beaumont put all the orange seals, all the Black community, and not just the Black community, but the community in whole. To be aware of things that's going on in our community. And this show is every first Thursday. It is first Thursday of each month, and I want you to join us every first Thursday. And hopefully, we can grow it. Chris can grow the show. We can do it every other Thursday or every Thursday. So we're hoping for that. But I want to let you know next Sunday, my kickoff my show. I've been on a 2 months absence, and I'll kick off my show next Sunday. Knowledge of Power picks up this show next Sunday with my guest going to be David Willard. He's a Port Commissioner of the Port of Beaumont. And he's the son of Beaumont, Texas great pioneer Elmo Willard, and the history of Elmo Willard, the Black attorney. He's named after the vast library of Willard Library here in town. We want those to know who right here in Beaumont, Texas. This is what I want to educate. What we had educate about history of this city and those who made it to where it is now, so that we can build on the work that they put on their backs to get us to the place that we are today. But if we're not knowing and have knowledge of what they've done, how will we appreciate the things that we should be doing today? So join us next Sunday. My guest again is David Willard. He's the Port Commissioner of the Port of Beaumont, and the son of the late attorney Elmo Willard. That's Sunday at 7 right here on Knowledge of Power Podcast. We are on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. We're on them all. So join us then. That's back, Chris. I want to go back and talk about Tennessee. It's been on my mind all day today. Tennessee is just on my mind, and I can't allow this to happen. This is why we should vote, because we're close to what they are now, because we've got people right here in this Golden Triangle that is Southeast Texas that is in charge.
So is Mississippi.
Yeah, they are in charge that shouldn't be in charge. And
Trisha.
Yeah.
Trisha.
I'm not in charge.
What was you about to say about the Tennessee incident?
Oh, well, no, I haven't watched the news today. I've had other things going on, but just in general, the entire thing it's common sense needs to be applied. And I feel like all humans have lost their mind. I can't remember what my comment was, but just basically, everybody knows I'm not a Republican and I'm not a Democrat. I'm kind of somewhere in the middle where common sense seems to lie for me. Yeah, right. I just do what's right. And I think that everybody should, no matter what you believe in or what you choose to do, just do what's right. Stop killing each other. And why are we taking guns into schools? I mean, that's just disgusting and disturbing. What is going on? Well, I think that we need people who are going to lead the way and be real leaders.
Guns is the number one killer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yes, so but it's the people shooting the guns.
Right. Why are we not fighting to not eliminate, but limit the access for guns?
Because the masses, I'm going to tell you again, the masses that feel that way are not at the table. You can't expect something to happen out of thin air. People don't read minds. And you remember me telling you, Tony, when we was on the campaign trail together, that either you gonna be bought, rented, or leased as a candidate, right? As
Right.
a politician, you're gonna either be bought, rented, or leased. How many people do you know that are incumbents currently, especially on the federal level, to make these decisions, or on the state level to impose this particular type of legislation, or on the city level or the county level to impose these type of ordinances, to say, hey, I don't give a damn what the Fed doing, but if you want to get a gun in this county, this is the rules to get a gun in this county. If you want to get a gun in this city, this is the rules to have a gun
And they
in
can
this
do
city.
that. The city can regulate that. Absolutely. They can they can regulate marijuana, they can regulate guns, they can regulate anything you can think of.
I'm just saying.
As long
I'm
as
just
it's as
saying.
stringent as the state's not going to interfere.
I'm just saying.
So where
So,
are our people? Why aren't
and
they
it's
setting up
and
some
it's
rules?
not about getting us registered, y'all. We are registered beyond registered, okay? Here in the city of Beaumont and Jefferson County. We're you can't get us more registered than we are here in Jefferson County or the city of Beaumont. The question is, how the hell do you get us to the poll? And offering me your plan is not going to get me to the poll. If you can tell me that, hey, Chris or Trisha, Tony, I heard y'all on the look. I'm gonna call this the power the power ordinance, or whatever you want to call it. But hey, this is y'all's plan. Look at it, read it, tell me what you think. If we need to tweak it, how many candidates, state, federal, or local, are you hearing coming to you asking you for your plan? None. None, whether they're bought, leased, or rented. Neither one of them are coming to you and offering to adopt your plan.
We're not even enforcing
Adopt
the ordinances
your
we have.
plan.
The ones that are already in place are not being enforced. That's why I'm in the situation I'm in. Some
Correct.
don't even know the ordinances. They don't know any of the ordinances. This train business that we have here in town, these trains are not allowed to do the things that they do. And the city of Beaumont is in charge of what the trains can and can do. But if you ask them, they tell you, well, it's somebody else's thing.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they don't even know
you
what's
know.
already in place. Of course, we don't have anybody enforcing new ones. There's no plan because nobody knows what to do with what's here. At least that's how it seems. If people do, then let's step.
I was about to say, at least that's how that seems. And we can't, you know, I look at it like this. We can't, I can't expect Tony to handle something that I'm supposed to. I can't expect Trisha to handle something that Tony's supposed to, especially if we have titles and positions that detail what it is that we supposed to do, right? So I can't expect or have expectations for some local somethings, and I'm addressing the, let's see, uh attorney's general's office.
Hey, let me go back. Let me go to this. Let me go back to this. I want to just because I saw it. I want to address this Facebook user. I don't know. It's not a name here, but what happened in Tennessee would get them to the polls. Wisconsin just proved that. That's true. That
So
is
what you
true.
so
And
wait,
wait.
wait,
See, the
Facebook user.
Wisconsin.
What you are telling us is that it has to take some drastic measure for people to actually get to the poll. So what you mean to tell me is that we are that slowful, and I forbid, we are that slowful that it has to knock on our door in order for us to move? That's crazy. That is asinine. But I can understand that because that's the way it seems. That's the way it seems.
It does, and it shouldn't
Most
be that way.
people are not going to act and or react unless it's at their door. And I mean,
And then some only
to
react
me,
long
it's
enough for it
like,
to walk away. They don't stick to it.
to
It's a
me it's
lot.
like that's a waste of life, that's a waste of time, that's a waste of money, because
We can avoid these
this whole
situations
time
altogether.
you knew that this was a problem. You knew that there could be some type of mediation or some type of, mitigation between this, that, and the man. This
If we
that
have
pissed me.
representatives that are out there speaking what we want, then we wouldn't get to the point where we have to all of a sudden go and do it.
I
Preemptive.
hope, I hope, I hope Facebook user, I really hope that it doesn't take that here in the city of Beaumont. I hope that it doesn't take, some type of mass anything in the city of Beaumont for the residents of Beaumont and or Jefferson County to realize the power that they actually possess. Be, because I, I would just hate for, but I mean, because I know almost everybody out here, regardless to socioeconomic status, to regardless to which side of the city you live on. I know a lot of people out here, and whatever happens, I mean, the small.
Okay.
I had to sip my tea.
Our Facebook user it's the minority rule that was what has to go.
I totally agree. Because just like I said, you have, I mean, like
And that's
70
what
something
yeah,
thousand registered voters. You have 70 something thousand registered voters here in the city of Beaumont alone. If 70 something thousand registered voters, or of the 50%, at least the 50% margin of the populace of the city, then that should show. And I guarantee you me, 16% or 9% or 3% of that 70 some thousand people, those are the people that's ruling the city. The 3, 6, 9, or 12 rule. So I totally agree, Mr. Facebook user. It's the minorities here. And I'm not talking about minority as in yeah, I'm not talking about minority as black people or white people. I'm talking about the people that show up to the poll. The minority of the individuals are ruling this city.
and the young voters, the young people are now voting, and they are the new progressive, and they're trying to stop them from voting.
I totally agree. I mean, look at what they did, y'all. Look at what they did in Prairie View a few months back, maybe last year around PV homecoming. There was a sweep that Warler County did. I don't know if everybody know about it, but it seems to be a tradition for Prairie View homecoming. There was a sweep that happened, and a lot of young teens and young adults got caught up in this sweep, whether they were faced with, trumped up charges or not. They ended up staying in jail for at least a month to at least a month and a half. So that made them miss the election, the November election. Yeah, yeah.
Hey, now, let's go. Let's move on to Wisconsin. Wisconsin just voted in Supreme Court in the state of Wisconsin, and there's no other bigger gerrymandering state in the 50 states than Wisconsin. Strongly conservative, and has voted in. They have lost their stroke for the first time in 15 years. And if they can do it, we can do it. And it's going to take a mass of movement to make this happen. Don't you agree, Facebook listeners?
Well, I mean, after Facebook user said it takes chaos in order to move a body, shit.
Yeah, it's something that
That's
we're
crazy.
going
I'm
to.
I'm a act after I found out I got cancer to get the cancer removed. No, y'all.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens when Tennessee after this right now. What happens? I want to see what happens there because um, now that there's going to be some momentum going, let's see what's going to happen. But I'm going to take us back because I'm going to close out here in a minute. I'm going to take us back to what I said earlier in the show. And I don't want me to take over your show, Chris, but if
Oh,
we,
I was in the blackout, so you all right this
but
time.
Didn't even have
if
any candles.
right that if we allow
I'm gonna come get your
I'll get you
color
some
lamp. You better
candles,
start
Chris.
playing.
this happen, if this happens, and it can happen here as well. Anything can happen here as well as anywhere else. So it's time for us to wake up. It's
I
time for us to
mean,
wake up. And right here locally, we got election in May. It's time for us to wake up. And I'm telling you right now, people, wake
look
up.
locally. Locally, this is what we also are facing. Locally, there was
I'm gonna say this before I'm gonna let you guys go because I got things to do. But don't get bullshitted in not voting this election. It means just as much as possible. It means as much right now than it means the last 2 years. Don't let
I
nobody
totally agree.
don't let nobody bullshit
Absolutely.
you saying they're gonna make some changes and make the big changes and they don't like what's going on. I'm telling you right now,
Man, don't get me started on that.
bullshit is a bargain.
Don't get me started on
And,
that.
and I'm telling you right now, my people,
I'm trying my best to be
I'm telling you
neutral.
right now, I know that. But I'm telling you right now, people, we've got to come together and do this right. It means much more this time than it meant last time. So just like it can happen in Tennessee, it can happen in the schools, the elementary school in Tennessee,
Yeah.
just like it happened in Uvalde, Texas, at elementary school. It can happen right here at Blanchard,
Hey man, don't call no names.
Charlton Pollard, Martin,
I rebuke that. Don't call
Amelia.
no names.
It can happen.
It is just it yeah.
It's not prejudice.
Is
It's
yeah,
not prejudice.
no
I'm just
prejudice
saying right now,
whatsoever. None whatsoever.
that's
Because
right.
like said, it's reality. It's
Right.
things,
It's reality.
it's what's happening.
It's
I
time to wake up.
remember
I rebuke it too, but it's
I
time to wake
remember in
up.
1999, 98, 99, one of the very first school shootings was Columbine High. You couldn't and then not to mention there were like little small domestic
Right.
teenage terrorist groups like the Trench Coat Mafia and these people here and the Black Nail Bandits. I mean, it was all kinds of people that you just really had to watch out for. You had to be
It's not.
mindful
Listen,
if you
listen,
were on a
listen, listen.
death list or not. I mean,
If it can happen at a church,
bruh,
huh? It can happen anywhere.
absolutely, absolutely.
So
Absolutely. And it could happen to anybody.
anybody, anybody, anybody can be a target. So I'm going to close with this: is that people, what's going on in the nation, it's going to trickle on down right here, close to you, close to your hearts. So get involved, get involved, and let's help come together into a movement that we're going to get all of us going to get involved and do the right thing. And I'm going to ask you guys again to vote this coming election. Early voting is starting in 2 weeks, and we need you to step out. I mean, our forefathers died and they back on they died, crushed, washed up, hung, drowned it to vote. And we can't allow to take this for granted. Well, Chris is back again on the first Thursday of each month. I'm sorry I kind of took over, but I had this on my mind. And Chris, if you'd like to come on again this month, I owe you another show. I really do. I just want to make sure the people of Southeast Texas and the community to be aware of what's going on right now.
I'm so glad you covered that Tennessee situation on our national topic, because that is something breaking. That is, news that, like when it happened, it shocked and stunned, incumbent elected officials as well as candidates nationwide.
Hmm.
Especially to know that the expulsion of these candidates, I mean these elected officials, are again direct representations or representatives of a black majority community, and
Hmm.
these black majorities communities are also the black majority of the Tennessee's voting base.
Hmm.
So you remove the mouthpiece, you remove the head, you remove people from the table. I remember somebody saying in my studies, saying if there's no chair for you at the table, pull one up.
That's
And
right.
if you don't, if there's no chair for you to pull up, sit on the table and become the topic of conversation. And
That's
so
right.
that's where we are currently. We
All right.
have to be the topic of the conversation, and not because that's what we want. It's because that's what's needed, and that's who we are. We
That's
need to
right.
let up, regardless to, again, our mayor to our governor, especially here in the state of Texas, know what it is that we want. And I could guarantee you, if you take a nice census poll or a consensus about how many people agreed to their state dollars being used or misused to send immigrants to other states, I guarantee you me, we will be asking for a refund.
Hmm. And I'm gonna end this show with Tennessee again. The
Y'all better be
majority, the
mindful.
majority of the athletic at the University of Tennessee football team is what? Black. Memphis, University of Memphis, black. If those people can mass and come together and say, hey, listen, we're not playing until we get this straight. We're not doing this if we get this straight. If we don't get this straight. There's so much we can do. Those the big
I
corporations. There's so
see
much we can
now.
do.
See, Tony, you noticed the round table, and my mouth almost did something. See, because because
And,
that mindset, to me. Now, this is just maybe to me. That mindset doesn't resonate here in the masses. Most of what I get from the, I guess, most of the masses is where we going, and you're not setting the precedent of where you need to be. Again, like we're always waiting for somebody to give us a plan instead of giving the plan to somebody,
yeah,
letting somebody know this is my destination, these are the places that we want to go, these are the things that we want to see, and this is how we're going to get there,
that's right.
period.
We have to be part of the movement. We've got to come together and be part of the movement. Thanks everybody for joining us at Knowledge is Power. No, I'm sorry, this is not. It is presented by Knowledge is Power. This is the call we call the Roundtable Talk every first Thursday of each month with Chris Jones as the host. And again, join me on Sunday on Knowledge is Power podcast as we start our new season. And our guest going to be David Willett, Commissioner of the Port of Beaumont, the son of the great pioneer Elmo Willett. We're going to talk about the history of Elmo Willett and all the work he's done in Southeast Texas. We thank you, everybody, for joining us. We thank you for everything that you have done and everything that we kind of missed out on, not seeing you guys around and being around to help you guys. But we're going to start right back up and educating our community with a whole lot of education. And we're going to have guests from Beaumont. on in some of these outskirts towns. We want to talk to some of you leaders. We want to talk to some of you leaders. We want to invite some of you African American leaders in your community. We want
I
to.
don't want to hear from them no more.
I'll do. I
I don't
want
want
to
to
know
hear from them no more. You know
for you.
why?
What is that?
Because most of the times when we are in a pinch, we are in a pinch by ourselves. We don't see these alleged again, you on the round table, so you can say what y'all want on knowledge is power on the regular podcast. This is the round table talk. We don't really want to hear from y'all as whoever you consider to be leader. We don't want to hear from them. So don't send them this way.
Uh,
Don't send them to the round table because I'm telling you, I'm gonna spin them around and I'm gonna spin them around and I'm gonna spin them around. And the
all right.
whole time I'm spinning them around, I'm gonna spank that ass
All
because
right.
there are a lot of things that our alleged leaders that are here in the city of Beaumont
Uh-huh.
needs to step up and make people accountable for.
Uh-huh.
And so before you can make accountable to make people accountable, you need to take accountability for your absence, for
You're
your
singing my
silence, because
song.
that your silence is agreement to what the
Well,
conditions that most people out here have to endure.
I,
Again, leaders, please come to the better
I,
yet,
will, I'm going to
send
throw
them to
that.
the round
I'm
table.
going to
If
throw
they
that
ain't coming
line.
to talk to us.
Send them to the round
I'm going
table.
to throw that line out and bring them into you and let you.
They're
Then
not gonna
more
come
than
talk to
welcome.
me, Chris.
Okay.
He's gonna be
Thank you,
spinning them
guys.
one way, I'll be spinning them the other.
Hey, Trish, I apologize to you today. We didn't give you much to talk about, but that's
No,
okay.
it's okay.
I promise I'll give you guys
Don't worry, I'll
another
take my
shot.
turn when it comes.
All right, all right, all right, all right. But I like to educate the young children and young adults, the young people. They got to be educated, not
They
along
do.
with them, but our generation, the generation behind us, the one behind us. You know, we've got to do better, people. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us at Knowledge and Power. I'm sorry, the
The round
round
table
table
talk.
talk.
Thank y'all for tuning in
Tune
with
in to Chris
Christopher
Jones.
Jones
That's
featuring
right.
Tony.
Guys, see you later. God bless.